You, me, and HIFMB. Stories of Science and the Sea.
Welcome everybody to the next episode of the HIFMB podcast. And in this one I talked to another one of our fine master students, Nina Tombos from Switzerland. She works at the Center for Marine Tropical Ecology in Bremen and works there on genetics of a Caribbean fish. And for us at HIFMB, she's actually a student assistant, and she, funnily enough, is involved in the podcast editing. So she's our podcast editor. So we give you a little bit of an inside scoop on behind-the-scenes podcasting, also obviously on population genetics, and because we're in a heat wave right now, or sort of a heat wave in northern Germany, we have the windows open and there's some trains going by. You can enjoy that. Lovely, lovely sound. So please excuse those additional annoying sounds and additional cuts that Nina had to make. She's actually editing her own podcast episode, which is going to be her last one. Unfortunately, she's leaving us. She's going to Stuttgart in southern Germany. And further, we also talk about her very interesting life that she's already had. She's done some amazing internships, for instance, in South Africa, where she trained to become a nature guide. So that's super interesting. Unfortunately, it was cut short by COVID. So for all things South African nature guiding, podcasts, and genetics, listen to this episode. This is going to be a good one. I give you Nina Tombos. Okay, everybody. Hey, and welcome to the next episode of the HIFMB podcast. And today I have our very own podcast editor.
Hi.
Nina Tombos. So you're a master student at HIFMB.
Exactly. So I'm not writing my master thesis here, but I'm the student assistant, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And editing the podcast for us.
Exactly.
This is going to be a wild episode because we have some insights on behind the scenes podcasting. But yeah, first of all, about the science. So where do you do your master's research?
I'm doing my master thesis at the ZMT in Bremen at the Fish Ecology and Evolution group with Oscar Puebla.
Mm-hmm.
He's a professor at the University of Oldenburg as well.
Ah, okay.
So he was looking for students that would write a master thesis with him.
That's how you found it?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, right. And so you study at Oldenburg?
Exactly, yeah.
What degree?
Marine Environmental Sciences.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, first of all, project. What is it? What's it about?
So it's about fish genetics.
Uh-huh.
So I'm looking at the DNA of fish.
Mm-hmm.
And we are looking at the Bard hamlet.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, and they were...
Reef fish, right?
Yeah, exactly. They were sampled along the Mesoamerican reef in front of Belize.
Yeah.
But sadly, I couldn't do the field work that was done in a study before.
Yeah, what? Okay, right, yeah.
Because it was a corona-friendly master thesis.
Yeah, I've got the what is it, like the master project advertisement in front of me,
exactly.
and it literally says it's corona safe.
Exactly, which was sad because I would have loved to go diving and collect samples, but then again I loved the project and I'm very happy that I got that one. So, yeah.
Do you dive? Can you dive?
I only have the basic PADI, so
yeah, but it's diving, it's breathing underwater.
I'm more the snorkeling type so far, but I would love to go diving again. So,
yeah, sweet. Maybe when it's when there's applications that are un-COVID safe.
Exactly, normal life safe.
Normal life safe, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's genetic.
Exactly.
And what do you do?
So maybe you know the movie Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, one of my favorites.
And there is this scene where he is looking at DNA sequences. So he's looking at, it's basically just letters on the screen, and he is trying to compare, I think.
Yeah. Officer K is looking at his own DNA and then
Exactly,
the DNA of the child that they're looking for, and then he notices that it's the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And what I'm doing is kind of, well, it's not me doing it, but I'm using software that is doing something like that. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking for identical by descent blocks or segments. Mm-hmm. I will call them IBD blocks from now on.
Absolutely. Yeah. IBD for identical
by descent.
By descent, okay.
So those are blocks that are identical because they are inherited by the same shared ancestor. Mm-hmm. So parts of the DNA that is the same. Mm-hmm. So you can imagine if two siblings, they share a lot of the same DNA.
Yeah.
But if the farther away the shared ancestor is, the smaller these segments become and the less. So we can use those blocks to estimate relatedness. And that is what we're doing with these fish. But we are trying to use those blocks to use a rather new model that was done by Ringbauer et al. And they used those to estimate dispersal distance and effective population size. And so far as I know, this model has only been used on humans, and this would be the first try to use it on fish.
Yeah, right. Do you know how the sampling is done? Is it eDNA?
No, it's not eDNA. The fish were sampled along 200 kilometers transect. That was why this was one of the reasons that fish was chosen, because we needed a fish that is living along a long transect.
Yeah, right, okay.
So the Mesoamerican barrier reef, I think, is the second largest.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
After the Great Barrier Reef, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Fun fact. Okay, and yeah, that's how you chose that fish, and then now you're trying to estimate, like you said, dispersal rate. What was it? Effective dispersal rate?
Effective population size.
Effective population size.
And the dispersal distance.
Okay.
Yeah, and the thing is, we are looking at the genetic variance. So we are looking at how close the genetic material of these fish are. And we can imagine the bigger the population, the less related the fish are if they are sampled at random. And furthermore, the dispersal distance as well will show that if the fish are close together, they will be more related, and if they are further apart, they will be less related.
Yeah.
So a problem, or why we are doing that, is that often in studies, you either need one of those parameters in beforehand to estimate the other one, or you just use not genetic parameters. So you can have, there's a difference between effective population size and the consensus population size.
Consensus?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's just how many fish there are in that population, for example.
Yeah.
And the effective population size is like how many fish are really there that produce offspring. And those are the important ones if you think about conservation.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
So especially with overfishing,
yeah,
we know that if all the big fish that are able to reproduce get fished away, there are only some left that are not able to reproduce and strengthen the population.
Yeah, so I'm actually working on the big global assessments, like the Intergovernmental Panel for Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services, IPBES, or CBD, the Convention on Biological Diversity, and all these assessments, they're not assessing genetic diversity, which is a big part of biodiversity, obviously. And I think work like yours is absolutely vital in getting that process going.
Yeah, and I mean, if you think logically, the genetic variance is really important. I mean, we all know that incest is a bad thing,
yes,
but then we don't take it in account. I mean, it's not like siblings reproducing with fish, but still a variety in genetic material still makes the organisms or the population better at coping with any changes and also diseases and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So it is a really important parameter.
It is.
But still is taken into account way too less.
Mm. And it's super high computing power, right? You're working with this Carl High Performance Computing Cluster?
Yeah, exactly. That's the Uni Oldenburg's own computer cluster.
What does Carl stand for, do you know?
I think it's from the Oschinski.
Oh, Carl.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, Carl von Ossietzky, I think.
Yeah, Ossietzky.
Is the name of... Yeah, okay, right.
Yeah.
That's the name of our university.
Exactly. And there is a second cluster as well, which is called Eddy, I think. Mm-hmm. And there is supposed to be a third one soon-ish.
Right.
But yeah, I used the Carl one.
The Carl one.
Yeah.
Like another film, have you seen Interstellar, where the I don't know, bots are named after other scientists?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Much like that. Okay, so you got to use that. And then you apply the model. So what's the stage you're currently at?
So at the moment, for this model to run, we need a genetic structure in this data set. And we wanted to see if there is a so-called isolation by distance pattern. And that means that fish that are geographically closer sampled also have a higher relatedness than fish that have been sampled further away.
Yeah, makes sense.
So a big part of my work was to make sure that the pattern that we got was robust. And we proved that it was robust, but we had to take some steps, but it showed that it was robust. So that was a good point in and now we want to let the model by Ringbauer run, but that proved to be a bit harder than we thought.
Yeah, okay.
And right now we are in contact with Ringbauer and also Nick Barton, and they offered to let their model run with our data, which is really, really great, and we are quite thankful. So that's the point, where we are now.
All right. And can we wait for the publication to come up?
Well, if the model works and we get results, that is a good possibility. Yes.
Excellent. Watch this space.
Let's hope so.
Yeah. Do you have a Twitter handle?
No, I don't.
No. Okay. Right. Okay. Then watch you.
Yeah.
And for the publication to come
Maybe I
out.
should get one.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh. So right now, fun fact, right now it's super warm in Germany. It's like 32 degrees in Oldenburg. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. Sorry, Americans. And we've got all the windows open and there's a train coming by my office all the time. So now Nina has something to edit out.
Yeah, I can edit it out. Or maybe I will let it in there so you can hear what I'm not editing out.
Yeah, exactly. All the troubles she has to deal with my office being situated next to the train tracks.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's your master's project, kind of summed up.
Yeah.
But that's not the only work you do here.
I'm also here at the HIFMB, so
Exactly.
else you wouldn't know me.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be on this podcast right now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, maybe.
Maybe.
We would have reached out to ZMT and
sure.
get some cool
because
genetic
my work
person.
is so great.
It is. It's very important to the
true.
global assessments. Okay, but podcasting, a little behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So what is going? How does the editing process work? So
Well, the first part is Jan's work.
Okay.
So maybe you should start with.
Yeah, a little bit of a podcast rundown. So step one is I get the guest here and read up on their CV a little bit and on the work they want to highlight. So in your case, your master's thesis. And then I record it, literally. This is incredibly easy with our guests, usually. and then I send you the Audacity file, which is the software we're using.
Yeah, exactly. We are using Audacity. It's a free software. So my job is to add the intro, and also if you have listened closely, you can hear some waves in the background in the intro.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yes.
I'm adding that as well, and sometimes I use some fading tools. And then it's mostly editing out M's and I'm really self-conscious right now because I listen to all those people talk and I know which sounds people make without noticing.
Oh, that must be terrible.
Yeah, and now I know every single one of those.
Yeah, I know. I always say words double when I'm thinking, and then I would say it multiple times.
Yeah. So I was a bit scared because I am so self-conscious right now about doing a podcast after editing so many, but
whoops. Well, you're doing very fine.
And the editing as well is a lot of fun, and listening to all your podcasts. And
Do you get annoyed by my voice yet?
Not yet. And since it's my last week.
Oh yes,
So
we would have come up to that stage in the CV part, but now the cat's out of the bag, so you're leaving us.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah.
But I told the other ones I would even keep on editing the podcast because it was a lot of fun.
Yeah?
And
Thank you. That'll be amazing. I mean, Jessica is
exactly.
stepping in your big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Cool. And so in the editing process, how much time is involved roughly? So the episodes are around like 30 to 40 minutes?
Yeah, exactly. It depends on, I mean, we had the one with Irene where I added all those snippets of sounds, and that was a bit of more work.
Yeah.
And then others who are, I mean, if there are people that do a lot of M's, I sometimes try to edit them out, and sometimes I feel like they are also good for the listener to have a break to
Yeah, I think so.
like to think what he or she is hearing.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm trying to not edit everything out and make it too smooth, but it probably takes like 3 hours or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Per episode.
Per episode, yeah.
That's a solid average.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in the beginning it was a bit more, and now I feel like I've got the hang of it.
Yeah. And then you're leaving us once
yeah.
you've got the hang of
yeah.
it.
As always.
Yeah. But are you going to be... Did you do that before? Editing?
No, I have never done that.
Or any audio work?
No.
Nothing? Okay.
Nothing. But it was fun, and I would kind of love to do it in... Yeah, sometime.
Yeah, will you do it after, maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe have your own podcast?
Yeah, maybe I will have my own podcast.
Yeah. You can take one of the microphones.
Oh, okay. We have that on tape.
Oh, shit, okay. Maybe edit it out after. Okay, moving on to your CV. You're Swiss?
Yeah,
I didn't know for like a year.
I'm so happy if people say that, because when I arrived in Germany like 2 years ago, everyone was like, where are you from? You sound so Swiss, and people always could tell. And I also had people telling me, if you speak Swiss, I understand you. And I'm like, I'm speaking German to you. So I think my accent in the beginning was really bad.
Yeah.
But most people tell me that it has gotten a lot better. So
like Swiss German, I can't understand it.
it also depends on where in Switzerland you are.
Okay.
Because some are like really, really bad. I'm not gonna name any dialects, but so it depends. And some people are better at speaking the German, and some are not so good.
Yeah, but you Swiss people know a lot of languages always.
Yeah, I mean, we have to. In school we start with the German, I think, in preschool, so in kindergarten, and then we have French from, I think, 2nd class, and then English from 4th class, and then in 6th grade we can choose between Latin or Italian, and I chose Italian. And then in after that I did 3 years in Spanish. Yeah, so
what would you consider that you actually speak? Which languages?
I mean, English, for sure. German as well.
Yeah, right.
And the Swiss German. And French, I get into that fast. But if someone speaks to me, like, immediately, I'm a mess. But Spanish, I can manage as well. But Spanish, French, and Italian are all really close. And then I would probably understand a lot, but mix up a lot of words if I try to speak it. So
right. Okay, and through you grew up in Switzerland?
Yeah.
Where exactly?
Basel. That's right at the border to Germany and France. So we can like bike through 3 countries in like half an hour from my home. Yeah.
And that's where you went to university as well?
Yeah, exactly.
And what did you study in Basel?
I did geosciences. So that's quite similar to environmental sciences here in Oldenburg. So we had geology, we had climate and meteorology and environmental sciences. So,
in English or
no, in German.
Okay.
So some lectures were in English.
Okay. And so you said it's similar to environmental sciences now, but that's not what you study now, right?
No. So environmental sciences here in Oldenburg is also a bachelor, and then I'm now doing the marine environmental science masters.
Okay, yeah. I got confused.
And that's also the reason why I came here from Switzerland, because as hopefully most of you know, Switzerland is not that much of an ocean. There's no, I mean, there was an ocean in like a long time ago. We can find like shells of mussels and stuff.
Yeah, you were born shortly after.
Yeah. Exactly. But since I wanted to do something with the ocean and something marine, I came here.
Yeah, when did you catch the ocean bug?
I don't know if it was a precise point in my life. I think it has kind of always been like that. My parents travel a lot and have taken me with them, and
They're both Swiss as well?
my father's German.
Okay.
But he is living in Switzerland for like 35 years now, so...
Still in Basel?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's just has been the ocean itself over and over again that has planted the bug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. So that's where you're gonna stay, maybe, in marine sciences?
Probably not at the moment. I'm moving back. I'm moving to Stuttgart, so away from the ocean again.
Yeah.
But maybe the aquatic system for sure, because also in my bachelor I already focused on the aquatic system, and that's something I really like.
Yeah,
and
where do you see yourself long term in the sciences? Or do you see yourself anywhere in long term?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of have done quite a few things and loved all of those. So I love the science part and would love to do a PhD. But I also have done some other stuff which I also liked, and I like working with people. So
yeah, we're gonna get into that in a second. There's a lot.
Yeah. So I don't know. I have loved like literally everything I've done. So I'm quite open to whatever will come.
Sounds like interdisciplinarity right there.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that would be great as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. And so in your bachelor's, that's when you started your genetic endeavor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I did my bachelor thesis also in genetics, but with mites in like water sources in a Swiss park. And I also looked at isolation between those sources. So yeah.
So that was from 2016 to 2019?
Yeah, the bachelor. Yeah.
And then afterwards, you then have some quite interesting parts coming up.
Yeah, I did a gap year. And, well, first I did a little internship on Sylt. That's northern...
I don't think it's a big gap there. This is quite filled.
Yeah. And there I was at the RV as well. And I did also genetic work, which was great. Also the team there, and also just the island is really nice. I mean, if there are not too many tourists.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very touristic island in the North Sea. Is it still Wadden
I don't... Yeah.
Oh,
It is. Because I think the RV is the Wadden station from the RV.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, RV, Alfred Wegener Institute.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. Cool.
Yeah, and after that, I did a nature guide training in South Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
That was
amazing. How did you come across that?
So, as I said, my parents really love to travel, and they also have a big love for Africa. And so I think the first time that I was in Africa, I was like 9 years old, and I have been quite a few times. And our first guide, we met him like a few years after that. We met him again, and then he was like, well, Nina, have you ever thought about doing a safari guide training? And I was like...
Oh, he was a safari guide as well. Okay, right.
Yeah. I was like, well, no. I didn't know you could do that as some... Yeah, I don't know. I never thought about it.
Where was it?
We did a travel from Cape Town up through Namibia and then to Victoria Falls, and that was the first. And to be honest, the best travel we did in South Africa, yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
And Namibia, yeah. But this idea kind of stuck in my head for the next years. And then I knew I was going to do a gap year, and then I thought, well, why not? Yeah, exactly. And it was the most amazing experience I have made, yeah.
Yeah, what's it like? Can you paint us a word picture?
Yeah. So there was a school, and the school was in a bit of a smaller nature park without the big five. So
Yeah, right, okay.
no really dangerous animals. I mean, snakes and stuff, but no big scary animals. And there we learned about everything a nature guide needs to know. So we learned about the fauna and flora. We learned about how to talk or to communicate with guests. We learned about geology, about the stars, about how to track animals. So we learned to differentiate between which animal made which poo and and we had zebras running around the school, and it was amazing. And the most amazing part was that we had trails where we would go out into a bigger national park for a week. We had no phones, no watches, nothing.
For a whole week?
For a whole week.
Nice.
And we slept under the stars, and we had to do night watches because there in the big park we had everything. We had
What was the park called?
Imphalosi. That's
Imphalosi. Okay.
Yeah, that's in I don't know, close to Durban. That's on the east coast. Yeah, and I mean it's just wild to wake up in the night and hear lions, and then you see them, and they are not as far as you would wish somehow. So
what can you do? Just go
I
to the
mean
car?
we would just sat there, and we had a fire, and we had people with guns, and the lions are more scared, hopefully, than you are. Yeah, but it was really, really nice. Nice people as well, and just amazing experiences. Yeah.
But it was cut a bit short.
Yeah, exactly. Corona came, and we weren't able to do our last assessment, so we would have had 3 more weeks in a other bigger national park where we would have to take our exam. So we did the practical. No, we took the theoretically exam, but we would have had a practical exam where we would have to lead guests around and show them stuff.
So that was cut short, the best part.
Yeah, the best part. So maybe I will go back sometime and take the exam, but...
For sure.
Yeah.
Did you get to speak any French or?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, but they always felt like, oh, Nina, yeah, that's great if you speak so many languages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get to use it though.
No.
Shame.
Sadly.
All right. And then what happened after? So then you continued a different internship kind of thing? Or?
Yeah, it was also a course, like the nature guide course, and it would have been 3 more months of South Africa, but as I said, because of COVID, I had to go back.
Yeah, you had to take the COVID-safe route.
Yeah, exactly. And then I did a marine course online, which was also a lot of fun, but it would have been better in person.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that was interesting as well. I think I gained a lot of knowledge that I could use in my master's now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sweet. And then in October 2020, you started your master's here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And sadly enough, it was only online.
The entire lecture?
Yeah, I haven't seen any lecture hall from the inside.
That's so annoying.
Yeah, but I mean, I still got to meet some people, and I've got to meet all the people at HIFMB, which was really, really nice.
Yeah, when did you make the choice to come here?
That was almost immediately after I got to Oldenburg.
Yeah, okay.
And I think I started in December, beginning of December 2020.
Did you know about the institute before?
I knew a friend that did the student assistant job before me, so she was like, well, I'm done now. Do you maybe you wanna...
Who was this?
Berenike.
Ah, yeah.
I met her on Sylt during my internship at Arvi.
Ah, right.
And that was just really lucky. I don't know if I would have found a student assistant job that I would have loved so much. Yeah.
Sweet. And now, sadly, you have to go.
Yeah, sadly.
to Stuttgart.
To Stuttgart. And a bit closer to Switzerland.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How far is it to Basel from there?
I think 2.5 hours compared to 7.5 hours from here if everything goes as planned.
Yeah, which it especially currently doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, what's next in your life? Is it PhD or podcaster or nature guide?
Well, we will see. I have an interview for a PhD, but I'm also applying to other jobs in Stuttgart. There are a lot of jobs in the environmental sector, and but like I said, I think I could be happy in quite a few places, and the plan isn't that Stuttgart is the place to be for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So
okay. Are you moving there with your partner now? Or?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, so we're at the 30-minute mark, already past it. And do you have anything to add? Do you want to highlight anything that we haven't mentioned?
Maybe just a big thank you to the HIFMB
Absolutely.
and to Jan's perfect podcast.
Perfect. No, it's far from it. I mean,
but
you heard the trains.
Yeah. But no, just the HIFMB is a really great. There are a lot of great people with amazing knowledge and great personalities as well, and it
absolutely, and you were an absolutely vital part of that.
Yeah, and it was really, really nice to work here.
Yeah,
so, yeah, it's a nice goodbye to have a podcast on my own after cuttings of editing so many.
Thank you so much for doing that, and for I'm sure the listeners appreciated your editing skills.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah, absolutely, that must.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All the best.
Bye.
Bye.
Want to dive deeper? Surf over to hifmb.de or follow us on Twitter at hifmb_OL.